This next question again for all the candidates. We'll start with Mr. Kobe. The MLIRD sponsored a tour of the dredge and holding evaporation ponds. Did you attend? Why or why not?
I did attend. I thought it was very interesting, though I've been out on the dredge a number of times previously to see it functioning. Chris Wilson is our operator. He's become extremely proficient at the dredging project, and it has been, in my opinion and in staff's opinion, extremely successful. Once again, I did attend the tour, and there were a number of questions that came up. Chris and Kurt, the general manager, were able to answer them without any hesitancy, and I think it's going to be evident when the lake level gets down. You're going to see an island this year in Parker Horn rather than the channel on the Baskin-Robbins side that was the only thoroughfare for water. This year there's going to be an island for fish habitat and waterfowl habitat, which we have been told we have to leave. So that's the way the permitting process goes. The permits say we can do this much and we can go in this direction. We can, do the dewatering, everything that we request, but we have to follow the rules.
Mr. David Skog, the MLIRD sponsored a tour of the dredge and holding evaporation ponds. Did you attend? Why or why not?
No, I did not attend. I was not aware of the tour.
Mr. Bailey, the MLIRD sponsored a tour of the dredge and holding evaporation ponds. Did you attend? Why or why not?
No, I did not attend. I was aware of the tours, but I wasn't invited. But I would say that I've had the opportunity to be on the dredge site a significant number of times. I've had personal tours by the general manager and Chris Wilson, looked at the ponds, looked at the process. So I'm quite aware of what's going on there, how it's working or not, and of what the most significant problems are.
And Mr. Foster, the MLIRD sponsored a tour of the dredge and holding evaporation ponds. Did you attend? Why or why not?
I did. It was a beautiful afternoon. Kurt did a great job. Chris did a great job of explaining what they had done to date, the successes, the failures. You could see, especially those of us with Polaroid lenses, you could see the island that is about to rise from the Phoenix, so to speak, out there as the water gets lower. You could see the progress that was made. The settling ponds were impressive. I enjoyed the trip very much.
I can answer that question. I was invited to go on the tour. I did go. I don't know that I was on the same tour as my partner here, but it was a gorgeous day and I learned a lot. I've been learning about the dredge for the last couple of years, but seeing it in action really impressed me as to how well it's truly working.
And the same question for Mr. Tracy, the MLIRD sponsored a tour of the dredge and holding evaporation ponds. Did you attend? Why or why not?
Yes, I did attend, and I was impressed and interested in what it's doing. Some of the explanations by the manager were, of course, it's not operating at full capacity, but that's the reason for that really has to do with the settling ponds and how much area there is, because in reality there are 9 or 10 different projects out here throughout the lake in various spots, and part of the problem with the sediment removal is you've got these holding ponds, and here there are only 3 holding ponds. 2 of them take in the original sediment, and they have to wait and settle out. And the problem is there's just no other room. There's no room for any more ponds. And we're fortunate enough, or at least the district is fortunate enough at this point in time to have Pat Meyer and Rick Penlorick authorize the use of their property for these ponds. Otherwise there'd be no place whatsoever immediately to put these materials. In reality, if there were 2 more ponds, which there are not, then the system could operate 4 days a week and settle out another part of the week, and then you gotta eliminate the silt out of there. And that's what they'd be hoping to do, but for the time being, they're just too, that's why they've only been operating on Monday and Tuesday, because they operate, they fill the ponds, they have to wait for everything to settle out. That takes a couple days to do that, then on Friday, everything gets moved out of the pond, as I understand it, and so then they're ready to go the next week. But there are considerable constraints there because of the area that they have to work within. But in fact, from what I saw, I was quite surprised and quite impressed by what's been done.
This next question is for Mr. Ron Covey and Mr. Jeff Foster. I'll start with Mr. Foster. Who do you believe should be responsible to repair the Sand Dunes Road? The MLIRD or the county?
Well, they pushed the green button, so we have to start saying something. Who do I believe is responsible for repairing the road, the Sand Dunes Road, the county or the MLIRD?
Correct.
I'm not privy to whatever contracts between the MLIRD and county that may or may not be out there. I would think that the MLIRD has some responsibility for that portion of the road around and surrounding the dam, but I think that's probably a question that can be easily answered by a conversation with the responsible parties and on the county side, as well as our board and our staff. I think that's an easy answer that I'm not going to venture a guess, because that's all it would be. Could flip a coin and we could decide who wins or loses and they're going to fix it, but that's not the proper way to do it.
And we have the same question for Mr. Ron Covey. Who do you believe should be responsible to repair the Sand Dunes Road? The MLIRD or the county?
Well, the MLIRD is responsible for the dam. The county is responsible for the road. And there is no contract existing between the two that says anything different. The county has come in several times without the proper permitting, as we found out through the county when this happened. And they have laid down more material to make the road easier for travelers using the ORV park. People that come from the west side of the mountains use that all the time to get out to the sand dunes. And so it's a major thoroughfare. The idea being for the future would be to put a self-sustaining bridge over the dam, should we choose to actually rebuild the current dam and not move it to a location east of where it's at. Once again, Strata Engineering out of Spokane, this group, the engineering group, they do this all the time. We worked with them for several years. They informed us here a couple of years ago that the dam could fail at any time, and of course it did this year. So, once again, the answer to the question, the county is responsible for the road, MLIRD is responsible for the dam.
And this concludes the questions this evening for our candidates. We'd like to thank the Moses Lake Chamber of Commerce, the MLBA, KBSN, KDRM Radio, and the Columbia Basin Herald for sponsoring the forum tonight. The election will take place on December 10th from 1 to 8 p.m. at 211 South Elder. That's the former John L. Scott office. And for those of you who have been there, been here a while actually, it's an old P&PAC building. Absentee ballot requests and corporate authority forms are available at the district office. Candidates may have some information available in the back of the room as you leave. Big hand for our candidates tonight. And thank you for coming. Good night.